The story begins with Lucinda, a lonely middle-aged woman who lives a very quiet and empty life. She owns a small second-hand clothing shop, but business has not been going well lately. Because of this, she often closes the shop early and spends her free time swimming. Swimming is the only thing that gives her peace because underwater she can escape from the noise and pressure of the world around her. One day while visiting the swimming pool, Lucinda places an advertisement on a notice board saying that she is looking for a tenant to stay in her spare room. Soon after this, she returns to her shop where she unexpectedly meets her ex-husband Matt after many years. Seeing him again immediately makes her uncomfortable. The two later sit together at a nearby cafe, and Matt reveals some heartbreaking news. Their son Joe has gone missing. Matt explains that Joe recently visited his girlfriend's house, only to discover that she was involved with someone else. The incident emotionally destroyed him, and after that he disappeared completely. Police have been searching for him ever since. Matt also blames Lucinda for what happened because years earlier she left the family behind, and according to him, Joe never recovered from that emotional damage. Lucinda says she has no idea where Joe is, but deep inside she is shaken by the news. After Matt leaves, she prints a missing poster with Joe's picture and places it outside her shop, hoping someone might recognize him and provide information. Later that evening, as Lucinda walks home, she notices an injured young man lying unconscious on the ground. The boy looks weak and exhausted, and something about him reminds her of Joe. Feeling sympathy, she takes him home and treats the wound on his hand carefully before bringing him food and water. But when she returns, the boy has already disappeared. The next morning, Lucinda receives another call from Matt. This time the news is even worse. Police have found Joe's body in a river. The confirmation completely breaks Lucinda emotionally. Matt informs her about the funeral but asks her not to attend because he does not want any conflict or emotional drama there. Lucinda silently accepts this because she already feels that she lost her son many years earlier when she walked away from her family. Trying to calm herself, she returns to the swimming pool. After spending time underwater, she notices the same injured boy from the previous night standing near the locker room. She recognizes him immediately and waits for him outside. When he comes out, he thanks her for helping him earlier and introduces himself as Joe. During their conversation, Lucinda learns that Joe has nowhere to stay. Feeling emotionally connected to him, she offers him the spare room in her house without asking for rent. Joe happily accepts the offer and moves in with her. Soon the story reveals that Joe lives a reckless lifestyle. He spends most of his time with troublesome friends, gets involved in theft, and wastes his days using harmful substances. One evening while Lucinda steps outside briefly, Joe secretly steals money from her purse. Lucinda later realizes what happened, but she says nothing because she is afraid of losing him from her life. As days pass, Lucinda grows emotionally attached to Joe. She sees pieces of her lost son in him, while Joe slowly becomes comfortable around her. Their relationship starts becoming emotionally complicated. Lucinda treats him with care and attention, while Joe enjoys the comfort and freedom she provides. Soon after this, a police officer visits Lucinda's home asking questions about her previous tenant. The officer also becomes suspicious about a car parked outside the house. At that moment, Joe steps in and cleverly handles the situation by pretending the car belongs to him. The officer believes his explanation and leaves. Grateful for his help, Lucinda gives Joe permission to use the car whenever he wants. As time passes, the bond between them becomes stronger. They begin spending more time together, talking late into the night, drinking together, and sharing personal moments. Lucinda slowly opens up emotionally in ways she has not done for years. Then the story shifts toward a more emotional direction when Lucinda takes Joe swimming and teaches him how to stay calm in the water. These scenes become important because swimming represents peace and emotional escape for her. Joe also begins enjoying these quiet moments with Lucinda. In the following sequence, the two go on a long drive outside the city and spend time near the sea. Their emotional connection grows even deeper there. Lucinda clearly understands that Joe is becoming attached to her in a more personal way, but she remains conflicted because she still sees him as a reflection of her lost son. At the same time, Joe continues spending time with his reckless friends. He enjoys their dangerous lifestyle, and this creates tension between the peaceful environment Lucinda wants and the unstable life Joe still follows. Not long after this, Matt returns and admits that he feels lonely and unhappy. He briefly reconnects with Lucinda, but even after spending time together, she realizes that emotionally she feels disconnected from him now. Her attention remains focused on Joe instead. Soon another emotional moment arrives when Matt gives Lucinda some of their late son's clothes. Lucinda later asks Joe to wear them, and seeing him dressed that way overwhelms her emotionally because he reminds her so strongly of her real son. She hugs him tightly, almost as if she is trying to recover the family she lost years ago. Meanwhile, Joe himself starts struggling emotionally. One night after an argument with his friends, Lucinda finds him sitting silently in the bathtub looking exhausted and defeated. Instead of questioning him, she simply sits beside him and comforts him quietly. Their emotional closeness becomes even stronger after this moment. As the situation changes, Lucinda attends a party where Matt is also present. Joe later arrives there with his friends and becomes jealous after seeing Lucinda and Matt together. Tension quickly rises outside the party, and Joe angrily confronts Matt before leaving the area. That same night, Lucinda returns home and hears noises coming from Joe's room. When she quietly looks inside, she realizes Joe is spending time with another girl. The sight deeply hurts her because it forces her to confront the reality that Joe has his own life and emotions separate from her. The next part reveals Lucinda struggling with guilt and regret. She blames herself for losing her real son years earlier and begins questioning everything about her emotional attachment to Joe. At the same time, Matt grows suspicious about the relationship between Lucinda and Joe after seeing him wearing their son's clothes. Eventually, Matt confronts Joe at a bar. Fueled by anger and alcohol, he attacks him violently and leaves him badly injured. Soon after that, Lucinda receives a voice message from Joe's real mother. The woman begs her for help and says she only wants to know whether her son is safe. Hearing another mother suffer the same pain she once experienced completely changes Lucinda emotionally. Later that night, Joe returns home injured from Matt's attack. Lucinda immediately rushes him to the hospital. While waiting there, she notices missing person posters hanging on the hospital walls, and suddenly she remembers the pain she felt while searching for her own son. At that moment, Lucinda finally accepts the truth. Joe is not her son, and no matter how much she wants to hold on to him, he belongs with his real family. Realizing this, she calls Joe's mother and tells her where he is. In the final emotional phase of the story, Lucinda quietly walks away from Joe's life without saying goodbye. She understands that her attachment to him came from grief, loneliness, and guilt over losing her own child. Joe also begins facing the reality of his own choices and unstable lifestyle. The movie ends on a calm but emotional note, showing two damaged people who briefly filled the emptiness in each other's lives, even though they were never truly meant to stay together. Here the movie ends, and if you like the video, so please like and subscribe. Thanks.